morning, everyone. Welcome to day 4 of the Eat to Live Challenge 2 with Treadmill, of course. So I am working a weird schedule today. So I am working today and tomorrow from 7 a.m. until, I'm not 100% sure. I think until 2:30-ish. I don't really know. I'm not 100% sure. I don't ever work this shift, or very, very, very rarely do I work this shift. So, in fact, I can't remember the last time I worked this shift. Anyways, so I'm not really sure what time I get off, but I'm hoping that I get off about 2:30-ish, so I could be home maybe about 3:30. I'll be home earlier than that if I don't have to stop at the store. My husband's maybe going to stop at the store. If he doesn't stop at the store, then I need to stop at the store, in which case then I'll be home later than that. But anyways, so I would like to make an acorn squash for supper tonight. And Dr. Furman has several different recipes for acorn squash, and one of them looks absolutely phenomenal, but it needs to probably cook for a while. So I'm really hopeful that I will be home in time enough to put that together, and if not, then you and I will do something different later. I'm not 100% sure. But for right now, I've been up since 1:40, but I didn't get up. I just laid in bed and read a book for a long time because I got up and I went to use the restroom and it was cold. So I went back to bed where it was warm because it felt good. So anyways, I haven't been up out of bed for a very long time, but I am making some oatmeal right now, and I have a cup of blueberries in it, and I was going to put a tablespoon of flaxseed in it because I'm supposed to be getting that every day, and I think the only day I got that was on day 4. But I don't have any ground up already, and I'm being lazy, so I have some ground up chia seeds. So I'm going to use a tablespoon of chia seeds in it. I really don't think it matters. I think that they're really, really similar, so I think it will be okay. I'm not 100% sure. I'll try to use flaxseed. I just need to get a whole bunch of it ground up and put in the freezer. But anyways, so I'm going to eat a big thing of oatmeal, and I'm going to take with me some of the soup that I made yesterday, which is what was that called? The butternut squash with mushrooms, something along those lines. So that was good. And like I told you yesterday, I did add a pinch of salt to it to make it just a tiny bit more flavorful. I'm hoping that as a few more days go by, I'll make other meals that don't have any sodium to them and be like, oh yeah, no, this is good. But it needed a little bit, so I added a tiny little bit. Anyways, so I'm going to take a bowl of that, and then to have with my soup, I'm going to take a small container of coleslaw, but not really coleslaw. So anyway, I have this bag of chopped up cabbage. It's called coleslaw, but it's just cabbage and carrots. Anyway, I'm going to chop this a little bit finer than it is because it's kind of in bigger pieces. And I'm going to mix up a very small amount of almond butter and lemon juice and water and put it on there and shake it up and then just take that to eat. So I had my husband, when he went to Costco yesterday, buy 2 things for me that I think I need for this challenge. I didn't have them the last time on this challenge, and I kind of wished that I had them because they're in a lot of different recipes that he uses. So anyway, the first one is almond butter. So he was at Costco, so everything's massive sized. So yeah, anyway, so I've got a thing of almond butter, and all that's in here is almonds. That's it, nothing else, just almonds. So it is unfortunately roasted, so it's not as healthy for me. If it was raw almonds that were just ground into almond butter, that would have been better. But there's no salt and there's no oil or anything else added to this. So we're gonna go with this. And then the other thing is hemp seeds. So he uses a lot of hemp seeds and stuff. And so I got some hemp seeds to put in here, and that's all that's in here is organic shelled hemp seed. I really don't know that I need this big of a bag of hemp seeds. But yeah, hopefully I will use them. I mean, I'm going to use them, just I don't know how long it'll take me to use them. So they'll go in the freezer. That's a good place for those. So anyways, I'm going to chop up some more cabbage, mix some almond butter with some lemon juice and some water to put on there to take with me, and then to have my salad. The other thing that I'm going to use probably a decent amount on this challenge when it calls for reduced sodium veggie broth, I'll be using this one. So I really prefer the chicken-based one, but it has twice the amount of sodium and it has oil in it. Whereas this one does not have any oil in it, and it's only got 350 milligrams of sodium for 1 teaspoon. So I'm going to be using this. It says it's got 50%. It just says organic reduced sodium. So anyways, that's what I'm going to use. Oh, 50% less sodium than their original one. So I want to show you guys those things that my husband got for me yesterday. And yeah, I'm going to go put some food together, eat my breakfast, go to work, and then come home and make an acorn squash with you guys. That is my goal. That is my plan for the day. Woohoo! Anyways, I'll see you guys again later. Alright guys, so I am home from work. I was able to get off work at 3:30 today, so I got home by 4. Got an acorn squash stuck in the oven and cooked it for probably about 45 minutes at 400 degrees. I don't know that it needed to be cooked quite that high. It probably would have been fine at 350 or 375. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, that's what I cooked it at. So I just cut the squash in half and scoop the stuff out and put it in a glass bowl so both pieces were up, and put water in the bottom of it. That's how I cook an acorn squash. So acorn squash is cooked. And to make this, so there are a lot of different comments on this particular recipe for, it's called Acorn Squash Supreme. It's very simple in terms of ingredients. What it calls for is 1 large acorn squash, 1/4 cup of apricots that you have soaked and then chopped up, and then 1.5 cups of pineapple chopped, 2 tablespoons of raisins, 2 tablespoons of chopped walnuts, and then some cinnamon sprinkle on at the end. So I did read in quite a few different comments that you don't actually need to use pineapple per se. You could use something else. Like several people used apples, and that was just absolutely fine. My husband's not a huge fan of pineapple, so instead of trying to make half of it with pineapple and half of it with not, I just decided to go ahead and go with apples. I thought that sounded fine. So what we have here, just I think it's a Pink Lady apple. Anyway, so you're supposed to have 1.5 cups of pineapple, so that's about 1.5 cups of a regular apple. Over here is 1/4 cup of the apricots. Mine aren't super dry, so they didn't need to be soaked. So they're just chopped. There's 2 tablespoons of walnuts chopped up and 2 tablespoons of raisins. So what you're supposed to do is just mix this together and then put it into your acorn squash halves, and then cover it with aluminum foil and cook it for 30 minutes so that your fruit gets all nice and soft and it's wonderful and delicious. So you put that in there and you cook it at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. When it comes out, you dust it with some cinnamon on top, and then you bake it again for another 5 minutes, which I don't think is necessary at all. But that's my opinion. I'm not planning on doing that part. So I'm going to get this all mixed up and put in the little acorn squashes. So I'll let you guys watch me do that. And yeah, and then I'm going to go bake it for a few more minutes, and I'll tell you what it looks like when it's done. All right, guys, so everything is in the bowl. I'm just going to mix it up really well so it gets divided between the 2 different acorn squashes evenly, or as evenly as possible. There we go. Ooh, making a mess. I'm sure it'll taste better that way. Okay, so that's approximately what it's going to look like uncooked. I'm going to put that in the oven and cook it. And I think it's going to be delicious and wonderful. Very Thanksgiving or fall festival-ish. So there we go, beautiful, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so since this had a 30-minute timer set for it and needed to cook, I went ahead and exercised while I was waiting, and I'm very hot. I didn't take my sweatshirt off, which was really dumb, but anyways, whatever. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's super pretty. So let's give this a try. That's very good. Yeah, this is superb. I would totally recommend this. All right, my husband and I are gonna go eat. We are each having half of an acorn squash with some yummy, delicious fruit compote, I guess you would probably call it, in it. Yeah, this is really good. You guys need to make this, for sure. It wasn't hard, just time consuming because you had to bake it for forever, but otherwise it's very good. Alrighty guys, hope you had a great day, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.